She started dating a friend of mine while still married to her husband. Started drama, attempted to unalive herself, and faked a pregnancy. Why aren't more people talking about friendship breakups? There are millions of women out here, men out here who've gone through breakups with friends and haven't spoken up about it. If you're interested to hear about more friendship breakups, keep watching. Hey, Conscious Crew. I am Sia, the Transparent Therapist, and today we are spilling the tea on your friendship breakups. A few videos back, someone took the pleasure of highlighting main reasons as to why women break up. Well, I'm here to tell you, there are so many more. In this video, I'm going to go through the survey where about maybe 100 plus women go on to share their stories. I'm going to keep their names anonymous because, their friend might be watching. But it's really interesting to see how these things have unfolded. I'm going to be randomly picking some stories to share and kind of give my 2 cents on it. As a therapist, there are many people who come to me about their friendship woes. And as I said in other videos, I think it's so important for us to be very transparent when it comes to the issues and the trials we have in friendships, because friendships are just like romantic relationships. They're easy to get into, but really hard to get out of. So as I go down this rabbit hole, there are hundreds of stories and comments I can go through. And for my audio listeners, I'm sorry you won't be able to see the actual story, but just listen. So I prompted a group with thousands of women in there, and I said, I'm starting a series on breaking up with friends. Do y'all have any crazy stories on why y'all called it quits? One random person said, she got mad I told her, please do not take my child to a place that I wanted to personally take him to. And being a first-time mother, I wanted to have the experience with him. So she dropped my kid off in his car seat with all his things and drove off. Child. How are you getting mad at someone for saying that they want to bring their child somewhere? Okay, next. I'm about to unfriend one right now. She called me recently when she was going through it. She's homeless and on drugs. I just made a post venting about my struggle with depression, and she tells me, playing the victim is bad for you. Huh? Nothing in this post had anything to do with victimization or victimhood. LMFAO. I told her don't infringe on my First Amendment rights. This girl is funny. Let me go ahead and laugh at this post. Next one. I lost a friend because when I had my first child, she said I was spending too much time with the baby and not her. I'm the mother, and where would my baby go? And when we hang out, where are they supposed to go? This was many flags that ended my friendship. Same friend also got mad that I told her every time we go out, you shouldn't expect my husband to pay. Hold on. I'm going to stop the story right here. What? Y'all are going out and expecting your friend's husband to, maybe this is customary. I don't know. That's just not something. I wouldn't do that. I mean, to each his own, but if I'm going out, I'm bringing my own coin. You're not about to use my man's coin unless my man is offering. But she's insinuating that the friend is saying that she expects her man to pay for it. That's crazy. Yeah. So let me continue. Her response was, I don't have a husband to pay for things, so he should buy my food. I think that's what she's saying, since he buys yours. Throw the whole friend away. Respectfully. I'm sorry. No. The entitlement here is almost borderline disgusting. The list goes on, she says. She's also knowing, I think she meant knowingly. She also knowingly brought bed bugs to my house when I had a baby. C-section. Oh my gosh. Well, my heart goes out to you for having a C-section. And I had to throw everything out. This was my breaking point. Good for y'all. Good for y'all. All right, here's one. My best friend of 20 years got pregnant, had a baby by the brother who, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, who R'd and M'd me for 8 years. Hopefully y'all can use context clues, but it's something to do with S assault, okay? She was well aware of this abuse and then told all of our mutual childhood friends I was a liar about it. SMFH. Okay, first and foremost, wow. Just wow. To not have a support when you're going through SA, and again, certain words I can't say for my audio listeners because YouTube will ban me, and I'm not trying to have that. But wow, first of all, that's a traumatic experience. Secondly, you're losing a support due to her ignorance to your experience. Thirdly, she goes on to add insult to injury by telling people you're lying about it. I can't believe it. And again, guys, I'm not here to diagnose anyone. I'm not here to list symptoms, although sometimes I do it unknowingly, but I'm just generally reacting to this, and this is really sad. Some of these people I have responded to for if I read it or not, and if I haven't read it, it's because it was 100 people responding, and I was blown away. Actually, this one, I did leave her some response, and I basically sent my condolences and said, I'm sorry. For some of these stories, I am telling people to process appropriately with a therapist or a professional, because when you get family and friends involved, they're not as impartial, right? They can be very partial. So here's another one. She wouldn't bathe, wash her hair, brush her hair or teeth, wash dishes. She would eat feta cheese straight out of the fridge with dirty fingernails. Okay, first of all, yuck. Yuck. I broke up with my bestie of 16 years in 2019 because of all the people on the planet. She made a choice to date my ex. Her actions in breaking up with her hurt me deep. Yeah, I can hear that. Especially if this is someone that you've spent a lot of time with. You said this is your bestie of 16 years. She chose to be with your ex, which can hurt anyone. She was selfish, and every time we had a disagreement, she said a lot of rude stuff to me. It was always a friendship where I would always share any kind of opportunity that will help her, including the job she's currently in. She never cared to help me anyway. This one can be really hard, and I know a lot of you guys probably relate to it, maybe not the context of it, but just the sentiment behind it, simply because we give a lot as people, and sometimes the reciprocation is not there, and that's when we start to feel used, right? So there's this imbalance in between the friendship that you're holding, and every time you're wishing that the friend could give as much as you give, it might not happen. This is why I tell people, don't expect yourself from others. Right. But you also have to have strong boundaries and limitations, because people are going to they're going to see how far they can push a boundary. And once they know they can get at a certain point, they're going to keep on pushing. And it's unfair. Okay, this person started it off funny, so I'm going to read this one. This might be a lot. Okay, it says, buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a long one. And as I can see, there's Seymour's here, so it's a long story. A girl I was friends with from 2 or 3 years old, and I fell out because she was mad I was court ordered to tell my side of the story after she called me in the middle of hold on, can I? I don't think I can read this one. So I am going to screenshot this. I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys. Pause the video, read it for yourself. I am not reading this because a lot of these things I cannot talk about on YouTube, sadly. My audio listeners, the link for the video is in the show notes, so just watch the video at this point. Yeah, no. I can't. I can't say half of these things. Next story. So she's starting off her story with, Mine's invited me to the nail salon with her. When I got there, I tried to embrace her with a hug. She wasn't really feeling it. So I was sitting down getting my toes done, and I started to ask about the prices of stuff. Even though pocketbook full of money, but still, I always ask how much stuff is because I don't like to be taken by surprise. So she was like, oh my God, you be asking the price of stuff? And I said, yes. So while I'm getting my toes finished, she got up to get her nails done. So while my toes got finished, I went to go find her, to sit by her, to go, get my nails done with her. She was nowhere to be found. So I think she's saying she got up to go find her so she can get her nails done with her, but she was nowhere to be found. I called her. I didn't get any answer or anything. So luckily I have my own vehicle and my own money, which I wasn't pressed about because I always have my own, and you just end up hold on. Child, these stories be long. Okay. You I always have my own. I always have my own bag, but it's like how you invite me somewhere and you just end up leaving me. Don't call me, don't text me, don't let me know anything. So a few weeks later, she ended up asking me, did I want to go to Atlanta with her for her birthday? I told her no, because if you can leave me in our hometown, I'm definitely not going to go out of town with you. So you can just leave me there. So I broke friendship off with her, and we were friends since we were 12 years old. I have so many questions about this. Like, what happened for her to make, and this is not me victim blaming, but I'm just wondering, like, what happened where she was like, oh, I gotta go and I'm gonna dip and I'm not gonna tell my friend, right? Like, was there an emergency? And somebody even asked, it says, I wonder why she left. And so she says, I was trying to figure it out for the longest. Until this day, I still don't know. But I was hurt because I'm like, how you call me a sister then leave me? You know what? I have had a similar situation, like not about the nail salon, but I have had a friend kind of ghost me, and I'm just like, what's your problem? She didn't just ghost me. She ghosted me and another person. And to this day, we're like, we don't know what her problem is, but oh well. Next story. She was upset that I had to fly out to Mexico for our cruise to go to my grandfather's funeral. Now, child. She had to continue the cruise solo /find/pay for a rental car and couldn't afford to do any of it. So what I'm gathering from this is your friend was using you, unless you guys had a previous agreement. Your friend was using you, infringing on your right to grieve because you're going to someone's funeral, and she just couldn't understand that. She couldn't understand that your grandfather's funeral took priority over her own needs. Very sad, and I'm sorry to hear that. All right, I'm going to read two more because, like I said, there's hundreds here. She was my boss at the time. She asked me to work at the game room /gambling spot where I was managing. She cut my hours to give to this other girl. The girl lost her rent money playing another gambling spot. And when I said something to her about it, her exact words were, you'll be okay. You have a man that will help you. Like, girl, bye. I need my check just as much as y'all single woman. Plus, she chose to gamble her money. I didn't talk to her for almost 3 years until she got my new number from my mom. I'm not as close with her as I used to be, but we talk from time to time. I talked about this, and if you guys haven't checked the video out before, the one would be Salon and Megan Ashley, and how power dynamics can be really hard to shift from if you're in a friendship where one friend has some kind of superiority over you with like management or a job and the other doesn't. And so that shift can be really hard. There were some juicy ones that I have read. I just can't find them because there's hundreds of comments here. All right, last one. I was simply tired of her stagnant, non-growth ways. Her relationship was toxic. She complained a lot. I felt drained from extending my advice when she didn't take it. My help sending her job opportunities that didn't take. Yeah, I'm going to have to try to decipher this. I think she's trying to say she sent her job opportunities that she didn't take while complaining every day. So this girl is sending her job opportunities. The other person is just like, I'm not going to take it or whatever. She would complain every day about her job. My headspace is in a different place now. Talk about going back to school, healthy relationships, traveling, career. I get that. I hear this a lot. It's just like one friend is growing, the other is not. I'm trying to find a really juicy one for y'all before I close out. It's so funny because somebody was like, oh my God, I hope y'all lying on here because if I experienced that, I would never look for friends again. And I remember I laughed at her comment because I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, a lot of people are undergoing some really stressful things with their friends, and it's so sad to even hear. Here's one. She started dating a friend of mine while still married to her husband. Started drama, attempted to unalive herself and faked a pregnancy and forced my friend to call the police on her one day. Later found out that she lied to me about her husband hating me for taking her out for a girls' night and him being abusive. This all happened in about 4 to 6 months' time. First of all, wow. It sounds like your friend probably needs some psychological help, because to lie about a pregnancy, then to attempt to harm yourself, and to do all these things while you're still married, whether you're on good terms or not, these are a lot of cries for help. So I'm closing my phone now, y'all. If you guys enjoyed hearing some of these stories, please let me know. I can give you a part 2, 3, and 4 because there's so many here. If y'all have your own stories, please be sure to drop them in the box below. But don't leave yet. If you haven't watched the last podcast video on B. Simone and Megan Ashley, I go through why friendships kind of break up with the friendship cycle or the relationship cycle. Go ahead, watch that video. I'm gonna link it here. For my audio listeners, go back and just listen to that podcast. You're gonna learn some really great information that you can apply to yourself. But give this video a thumbs up. Drop me a comment if you really want to hear a part 2 to some of these crazy stories. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Walk good, keep the vibes high, and I'll see you in the next one.